that. So, we're talking about regional releases. Now, the Glorioso was the first new release addition to the Gloria Cubana line in at least 50 years. All of the Vitolas, including the Medaille d'Or series, which was probably added later on than a lot of the other Vitolas, are considered pre-1970s releases. That's as far back as they tracked them, but they were probably instated a long time ago. Probably with the birth of the brand, most of them. The Gloriosos is possibly the first line added to La Gloria Cubana in about a century. However, the Medaille d'Or series was, like I said, probably created later than all the other Vitolas that were out there. It is still pre-1970s though. I think that it was probably created at the Partagas factory sometime after the brand was transferred to Partagas. But anyway, either way, no matter how you look at it, the Gloriosos is the first new cigar added to this line in a long time, which makes it a very special release. You know, all the regional editions for La Gloria are very special. This one more so than the rest in a lot of ways, except for, well, we'll get to it. We're probably going to wrap up this episode mostly with regional release talk, which will guide us into the rest of our La Gloria Cubana, the series, our little mini-series. But let's talk about our second third. Wonderful cigar. Wonderful cigar. The second third gradually increased in strength. Very nice balance. I feel really, really good. You know, it's not a mild cigar. It's mild to medium, and right now it's starting to lean toward the medium side. Lots of gram, lots of honey, lots of very floral, perfumey, sweet aroma. Really, really nice. A little extra salt during that second third. Salt picked up, spice started picking up, and now, at the cusp of our last third, I'm starting to actually get a decent amount of spice. Tongue is pretty tingly. But delicious. And you know, although it's such an obscure brand, and it's so hard to get, I would probably not recommend it for the beginner Habano smoker, but I would definitely recommend it for anybody who wants to get into aging. Because to me, it's one of those cigars that really shows, really lets you see firsthand what can happen to a cigar when aging. When these things come out fresh from the factory within the first year of the box date, they're green, man. They are often green. Grassy, little flavor, sometimes flat out bland. And you will be amazed at what happens when you stick the box in the humidor, leave it there 3 years, and pick one up. Unbelievable difference. Unbelievable. Night and day. Night and day. It's, you know, maybe not one of the most dramatic changes, but definitely one of the most noticeable as far as going from a not very flavorful, kind of green, grassy, you know, even could be a little bitter, some ammonia. Great change-ups. Definitely good for a person just starting out with aging Habanos and they want to like see what can happen to a cigar. Upmanns are very good with that too. I also want to mention that combustibility is pretty good. At some points in the cigar, I'll get a real black charry area and, you know, a little bit of yellowing on the ash, which is basically that the tobacco is not fully combusting. And that's due to the roll and humidity, a whole bunch of different factors. But for the most part, I'm getting a lot of very, very light gray white areas, so very, very good. Now, let us finish up with our regional releases. Nice ash forming there. See how long that baby holds. Okay, so we're wrapping up our episode. We got less than a page left. Bear with me because I have some very exciting news for you Gloria Cubana fans. Now, while connoisseurs always recognized the remaining LGC cigars, the MDO2, before even, as prized objects, the new regional edition releases brought interest back to the brand. And without that, a brand is dead. And that's what I was trying to say before. Even though the connoisseurs were loving the MDOs and buying them up and everything, new people, new Habano smokers, weren't into LGC. They weren't seeing it for the brand that it was. It needed to capture some new interest, some new blood. And the regional edition releases did exactly that. I think that's how the jar came about. That's what led to the jar. We see a lot of jars from mainstream brands. Partagas, Cohiba, Monte Cristo. But don't see too many jars from smaller brands. Well, I shouldn't really say that right away. You do see Juan Lopez, there was one, only 600 made. La Excepcion, 200 made, but that was kind of like a whole different story. Bolivar, but Bolivar has become much more popular over the years. And is not as rare as La Gloria Cubana. Its general availability, it's kind of, you know. So as I said, interest back to the brand. And without that, a brand is doomed. Well, in 2009, interest was peaked to the max with one of the first jar releases since the Millennium Jars, which is also interesting, and the very first ever regional edition Cuba. And it would be the first regional edition Cuba for quite some time. Now, this is saying something. This is odd. You got to say, hold on a second now. You're going to make a jar 9 years after the Millennium Jars. No jars for all that time. And you're going to make it a regional edition Cuba. You're trying to say something. You know? I really believe that it wasn't only they did a great job of piquing interest with the Gloriosos. When the jar came out, not even all the Gloriosos were sold yet. So I don't think it was all about let's bring this brand back and make everybody in the world interested in it. I think they were really, I don't know, they wanted to do something special for some reason. I'm trying to figure it out. And yeah, money, but, you know, like I said before, Cohiba is the flagship brand of Habanos SA. Great. I think La Gloria Cubana is the flagship brand of all Cuban cigars. You ever see those Cuban cigar ash contests at the Habanos Festival? They're smoking and they're trying to keep their ash. This is one of the best ashes I've had on a Cuban cigar in a while. Really, really something. Very perfumey at this point. Sweet notes are subsiding. Spice is really there right now. A lot of floral notes. Really heavy. Reminds me a lot of the Partagas Salomon. So, I really don't want to lose my ash, but it's going to happen. You know what? Oh my God, I can't believe it didn't come off. All right, let's keep going. So in 2009, the regional edition Cuba, La Gloria Cubana Deliciosos, was released. In 2000, jars of 25. First ever regional edition Cuba. And this release had collectors and smokers both fucking scurrying to the market. I mean, everybody wanted this thing. It was about $800 when it first came out. Actually, probably a little less, $749, prices like that. One of the most expensive jars ever to hit the market, you know, as far as its initial price. Jars have auctioned for well over $2,000 at this point. We will be smoking that cigar soon as part of our mini-series. But great release. Great release, brought a lot of interest back to the band. And so you have 2008, 2009, and then in 2010, the Swiss Triunfos is released. Really neglected release for some reason. Now, I think there's a few reasons behind it. They didn't release that many. It wasn't like the St. Louis Ray release where they had made 7,400 boxes. There was only 2,400. 2,400 boxes. What I think happened is this. People who had not enough money you know, enough money to get one thing, wanted the jar or even the Gloriosos before the Triunfos. Others weren't so into Gloria Cubana that they wanted all these regional releases, so they already bought either the Gloriosos or the Deliciosos or both, so they didn't buy the Triunfos. I don't know exactly why. It's a great cigar. It's a great cigar. Now it is anyway. When it first came out, pretty green, but to those who bought a box and tucked it away, it's getting good, and we're going to smoke one of those on the show. We're going to smoke one of all of these on the show as part of our mini-series. And of course, it's not going to be a big, long review like this. They're going to be like 20, 30 minutes, like bang, bang, bang. We're going to take pictures, look at them, smoke them, see how they are. And we'll do the Triunfos soon, because there are still boxes available on certain websites. Gloriosos, good luck getting that. Deliciosos, the jar, you can still find them here and there. Very difficult though, very expensive. But the Triunfos you can get for a decent price. So 2010, it's like, wow, the jar and the Gloriosos really brought the brand back to life. Not only the Triunfos comes out, but also the La Casa del Habano release, the Inmensos, the biggest ever La Gloria Cubana cigar, a huge cigar. The size of the Triunfos, was 50 by 6.3. That's pretty big for La Gloria Cubana also. Double Robusto, basically, it's classified as. The Triunfos also has a name that was already in the original La Gloria Cubana line, but it is a different size. It's not the same shape, not the same cigar. Man, I am abusing this thing and the ash is not falling off. So, the Inmensos comes out, a whopping 54 by 6.5 inches. 5,000 boxes of 10, not serial numbered or anything, but they said they were only going to make 5,000, and now they're becoming quite difficult to find. Again, not a superbly flavorful cigar when it first came out, but now, wow. I think that girth with the La Gloria Cubana blend, a blend known for its aging properties, unbelievable. They just look beautiful. Similarities to the Taurian, actually. Very close in size to the Taurian also. So, 2011, we're not skipping a year. The Belux #1 comes out for Belgium and Luxembourg. The Genios or Robusto Extra, 52 by 5.5. Another great cigar. This cigar, for some reason, happened to be very good when it first came out. People were very, very happy with it. And personally, I have a box. Unlike the other ones, I haven't even smoked one. I only got one box of 10, and I just kept it shut. So, we're going to try one of those on the show. Then I started to get scared. So you have 2008 Gloriosos, 9 Deliciosos, 10 Triunfos and Inmensos, 11 Belux #1. 2012, nothing. 2013, nothing. I started to be like, oh man, it's over. It's over. They didn't sell enough, whatever. Funny thing is, the only thing you can really find is still the Triunfos. Even the Belux #1 is very hard to find. Very hard to find now. So I got very scared. I said, oh my God, they're not going to release anything. They're not going to do anything. And then I saw it. The Paradiso. Spanish for, obviously, paradise. I think we're going to have to cut this ash so I can... Look at that, still smoking. Look at that, man. Oh my God. I just had to put it down. And I was like, oh, come on, don't break the ash. Because I had to change the battery. Battery just died. I had to run all the way up, get a new battery. Came down, puff, puff, still lit. The Paradiso. Again, You heard it here first. Cuban cigar collectors, La Gloria Cubana fanatics. Sometime in 2014, maybe this summer, there will be a regional release for the Caribe, however they say it, Caribe, the Paraiso, I'm sorry, it's not D, it's Paraiso, Pariso, Paraiso. Jeez, this thing has got me. It's going to be an Edmundo format, 52 by 5.3, and you know, the 4,000 boxes of 25. The bands may be unique because it's unknown what band they're going to use yet, which is weird. Through the nose right now, it's like toast and honey and flowers. Really something. But ain't that fucking great? The Paraiso, 2014 Edmundo size release for the Caribbean, 4,000 boxes of 25, so they're going to make a lot of them. I guess because the last 2 years were skipped, maybe it had something to do with the blend, getting enough tobacco together, or aging it out long enough, who knows. But I'm very, very excited, very happy, can't wait to see what that's going to be like. Save up some moolah, because it will cost a bit. I mean, you know, it's got to be at least 500
Guys,
bucks. Look at this fucking thing. Look at that. And now it's out, finally. But look at that. Oh, there we go. Look at that ash. Well, we will look at it closely when we take some pictures. Let me just cut that off there because this is so good. So good that I really just want a little bit of an uneven burn at the nub there, but, you know, whatever. I did find that the last third seemed to burn pretty quickly. I think it was probably because I was puffing the hell out of it, but, you know, it's gone already. So that's about it. Just one little last note before we're out of here. For a long, long time, everybody knew La Gloria Cubanas were made at the Partagas factory. Right now, they are being made at the El Rey del Mundo factory, since the Partagas factory closed and they still have not moved anything around yet. Not a bad factory to be made at. Partagas is being made there as well, along with Bolivar. So these three brands, Bolivar and La Gloria Cubana, that belonged to Rocha until they were acquired by Partagas after his death. These three brands, Partagas, Bolivar, and La Gloria Cubana, still remain together to this day. And that is pretty cool. It is a lip burner, friends. It is a lip burner. That's about it. Our last third, like I said, moved pretty fast. Spice, toastiness, a lot of floral notes, sweet notes subsided, you know, some gramminess still, but for the most part the cigar really kind of settled down in the last third. I hope to see it pick up a little more in the future, maybe with some more aging, but it was very, very good. Through the nose, the last third was better than the entire, you know, the cigar, it just got better and better. Maybe on the palate, flavor wasn't as great with the last third, but through the nose, because of, I guess, how hot it gets or whatever, this toasty characteristic was just added to the sweet floral fragrance I was getting through the nose, and that all together was just wonderful. Let's wrap it up, give it our final rating, and then show off some pictures. We will be back soon with the next non-Cuban cigar episode, review brand history, and we will be doing some more smaller reviews. Finally, I know I kept saying it, but we ended up keep doing long reviews, whatever. I want to do La Gloria Cubana the mini-series, and I have a lot of cigars from brands we've already covered, but that are very important cigars to review. Partagas Lusitanius, Cohiba Siglo, Cohiba Bahique, Romeo y Juliet Churchill, Joya de Mate Double Corona, whole bunch of legendary cigars that we have to get into. So, let's wrap it up. Man, that is good. That is a great little smoke, man. I could keep going, but let's just call it a night. And so there we have it, folks. Our La Gloria Cubana Medaille turned to ash. Look at those beautiful big chunks of ash. One is an inch, the other one an inch and a half or so. Really, really, really nice. Our rating: appearance, burn, construction, draw, all a solid 1. You really just couldn't get any better. I mean, the appearance, beautiful looking wrapper, golden, honey colored, gorgeous. Little bit of plume starting to develop on the outside of it. Burn was consistent, never went out, not once. Construction, great, because the burn and the draw were absolutely dead on. The only thing was that the third seemed to fly a little fast, maybe a little underfill, I don't know, but I'm still giving it a 1. Pre-draw flavor, 0.75, very interesting, a lot going on, a lot of complexity. Overall flavor, 1.75. It doesn't get, well, it does, but it hardly ever gets any better than this. This cigar had an amazing, amazing flavor. The definition of a Habanos. Just classic, classic Cuban flavor, and then some. Honey, graham, spice, flower, floral notes, just gorgeous, gorgeous Cuban cigar. Aroma, 1. Aroma was outstanding, mind-blowing. Balance, 1. Perfectly balanced. Started out very mild, worked its way up to the end where it was a good, solid medium body. I got what I needed. Complexity, 0.75. A lot going on. Definitely a complex cigar. An amazing cigar as far as aging potential is concerned. It's one of those cigars that I know that for a fact from smoking them and aging them myself. I am happy to say that I have these to age. I will always try to keep some in stock to age. I don't know what the best peak period for them is really, but to me, they just get better with time. Overall score, 9.25. The definition of a Cuban cigar, sublime. Absolutely sublime. And there you have it, folks. La Gloria Cubana. Tune in soon for our next non-Cuban cigar review. And like I said, we will be releasing a lot of shorter 20 to 30 minute reviews on cigars from brands we have already covered. I will put those under a different category on our homepage. So we'll have our brand history episodes, and then we will have our quick review episodes. It will be great. We will keep on going. We will keep on learning. And hey, I'm just glad to have you all aboard. 750 subscribers and climbing. Keep up the good work, fellas. And most of all, keep on smoking. Say goodnight, Max.